Okay, so now we are going to talk about how to add row and columns in your existing data frame. Okay, so this is also important topic for you. You must be aware about this. Okay, how we can going to add. So now you can see that we have a data frame which name is the df2. Okay, and this data frame is having only two columns. One is the names and second is the 1 minute. Yeah, one is the name and second is the marks. Okay, so two columns we are having with this data frame. Now we want, suppose we want to add one more column, and that name of the column is suppose class. Suppose class. I want to add one class here. Okay, 1 minute. Hold on. Okay, so as I told you, there are only two columns are existing in a name column and marks column. Now I want to add one column for the class. Okay, in the existing column. So how we can add the add column? Now we have to two things: how to add the columns and how to add the row in existing data frame. If you want to add the column, there are three methods. There are three ways through which we can add the column. Just writing the name of the column here in a square bracket, the first thing. Second, we can call the add function. We can call the add functions and provide the name of the column here. Provide the name of the column here. Third, we can call the log function and provide the name of the column here. At and log function we can use. There is a one more function that is known as the assign function. So through this assign function also we can add the new column. Okay, so now we come to know this is the column name, this is the column name, this is the column name, and here also we have to provide the name of the inside the assign functions. What we have to do, we have to write down the name of the column, here we have to write down the name of the column with name of the column here and with their new value. We have to provide this. Okay, now how to add the row? If we are going to add the row, then there is a options of that. We can, for adding row we have a two functions. One is that we can use the add, and second is that we can use the, sorry, not row, second is we can use the log function. Okay, so these functions are used to perform to add the row and column. Look at this, at and log is the common here, so at least you have to remember anyone this. And regarding this, you have to always remember this: the assign function is not used to assign a value, it is used to create a new column in a existing data frame. These things you have to remember. Okay, how we can use the at? You can use the at by providing the row name here. Row name, you can say row index or row name, whatever the index is there, accordingly you have to provide the row name here, and then we have to put the column here. Okay, and now give the value here. Now in the same way we can use the log also. In the same way we can use the log also by providing the row name, comma, and this option. Okay, and providing the new value as a list. Always remember that, providing the new value as a list. Now there is a two possibilities. There is a two things are there. What is the first thing? The column name you have mentioned here, the name of the column which you have mentioned here, if suppose this is the existing column, this column is already existing in your data frame, then this command is not going to do the add operation. This command is working as a modify operation. The same command is used for the modify in case of the column are already exist. or your row is already exist. Either your row or columns are already exist, then the same command is used for the modify. Same command is used for the modify. Okay, so now you understand ki how we can do. Dekho, select, I already told you ki how you can select this. Means for the selecting, what we are using? We are using the at, we are using the iat, we are using the log, we are using the ilog. So this function I already told you for the selection. This is called selection of the particular column or row. Okay, now we are going to talk about the add. So how we can add? We can add by using this function add, log, assign if it is column, or you can write the name of the column directly inside the square bracket, or you can do the adding of row by using the at and log function by providing this syntax. Okay, but there is a one condition ki if that particular row, which row name you have written here, yeah, which column name you have written here, if it is already existing in your data frame, in that case it is not going to, it is not going to add new, it's going to update, it's going to update. So these things you have to understand carefully. Okay, acha, second thing you have to understand in this case ki while you are writing the value to the column, you can give the scalar value, you can provide the scalar value while you are updating the column. What is the meaning of a scalar value? We can give only one value here, we can give only one value here. If you are giving only one value, suppose I'm adding a one column, this is the name of the class here, and I'm giving the only 12th, then what happen? All row are getting the 12th here, all row are getting the 12th here automatically. Okay, all row are getting the 12th here automatically. But if there are three rows and you are giving the only two values, you are giving the only two values, in that case you are getting the value error. So these things you have to remember. Either आप तो स्केलर वैल्यू दो या आप कंप्लीट नंबर ऑफ वैल्यूज प्रोवाइड करो. तो इस दो चीजों को आपको सिर्फ ध्यान रखना है. दिस थिंग्स यू हैव टू रिमेंबर, ऑलवेज रिमेंबर. So now you understand that generally we are using the at and log function, and syntax is the same. Before the comma we are mentioning the row name, and after the comma we are mentioning the column name. If you are going to change the column, then put the column here. If you are going to put the change the row, then put the column at the column position. This is the very tricky points that you have to remember that. Now I'm going to do this add operations. So now I'm showing you df2, and my df2 is having this column. So now I'm going to add the one column df2, and what I'm doing, I'm writing here class. I'm writing here class, and now I'm going to provide the class 12. I'm going to provide class 12 only. So now you can check df2. What happened? Class is added here, and all are getting the 12th value. All are getting the 12th value. The another option is that I can write df2, and instead of the, now I'm going to write here section. Now I'm going to write here section. Okay, and or a stream, I can say a stream or section, whatever you want to write, you can write here. Okay, and now here I'm going to write the value. So I'm giving the signs and I'm giving the commas. Okay, only two values I'm giving. I'm getting an error message. Why I'm getting error message? Because there are three rows. There are three rows, and I'm giving the only two values. So that is the problem here. That is the problem here. So what I have to do? I have to add. I have to write down in this way a stream. Okay, and now this time I'm not going to this concept, I'm going to use the another concept, because already you understand how can use the this format. So the another method I'm going to use at here, I'm putting the column here, now I'm putting the comma here, now I'm giving the next new column name, that is the stream. Okay, I'm closing this, I'm giving the equal sign, and now I'm going to go provide the value. So one is the signs, second is the commas, okay, and third is the humanities or arts. Okay, so this section I am providing here, and now you check the df2, column is added here, column is added here. Now I'm going to add one more column through the log function, through the log functions. And what I'm doing, I'm putting the column for the row, because I'm not going to make a change in a row, so I'm putting this here. Next, I'm giving the another column here. So what is the another column? Class section. I'm just giving the mobile number. So I'm writing here mobile, and here I'm going to provide a mobile number here, and mobile number I'm just giving the 2-digit mobile number, don't worry. Okay, so I'm just writing because I have to write length. I'm not going to write everything in the detail. Okay, so this way I'm going to add another column, and you can check. So 3 columns are added here. 3 columns are added here. Look at this. One is the class, second one is the class, second is the stream, third is the mobile. So what the syntax I have used? I have used the first syntax like this: df2 is stream, suppose. Second, I'm using df2 dot add, and I'm writing here class. Yeah, I know. Okay, class I have added it this way. So that is the wrong way. No problem. You just remember. And next, I'm using this concept colon. So yes, now log colon and comma, and here I'm writing the mobile number. So this way I'm using and I'm giving the value. Okay. So there is two options. Either you give the scalar value or you give the specified number of values. So this way you can add the new columns. So now I hope you understand ki how can add the columns. Then what is the next task? The next task I'm going to add the new row. I'm going to add the new row. So what method we are going to do? Achha, one thing I want to show. Now I want to change it. I want to change. So what I'm going to do? I'm writing at. I'm giving the colon, and now I'm writing here class. I'm writing here class. Okay. So I'm going to modify it. I'm going to modify it. So instead of class 12, I'm writing 11th class. I'm getting 12th class, and I'm giving the 10th class. Okay, so now look at this and check the df2. It's working fine. Class change. Okay, in the same way you can use the lock also. Now I'm going to add the row. So how we can add the row? Adding row. What we are going to do? Adding row. And what I told you, how we can add the row? Yes, yeah, that's great. Very good. So how you can add the row? Adding row can be done. Adding row can be done. Adding, or you can say modify. Adding, and you can say modify. So what the syntax? We have to use add, and we have to use lock, and here we have to provide the row name, yeah, and then colon, and then the value whatever you want, and here also you have to provide the row name, okay, then colon, and then the value you want to add. Okay, so now let's move and check it. Okay, what we will do here? So now I'm going to write here df2 dot, first I'm pressing enter key, yeah, df2 dot and log, and I'm giving the next column number, because here I'm maintaining the number, so I'm giving the 3 comma colon. Let's I see it's working or not. So what is this? First is the name. So here I'm writing name Saloni, and then I'm giving the marks 32, and then I'm giving the class, I'm writing 12, then I'm giving the stream, I'm giving science, and then I'm giving the mobile number 96. Okay, so this way I'm going to add the one more row, and let's check the row is added here. Row is added here. If suppose I want to change the Muskan information. So what I'm doing this time I'm showing you the another method at, and I'm going to change in the 0 colon and comma colon equal to what I'm going to change. I'm not going to change in the name. Yeah, I'm going to change in the name also. I'm going to write Muskan Yadav. Okay, I know she is not Muskan Yadav, so don't mind. Okay, now I'm giving the score, and I'm giving the class, I'm giving the stream, and I'm giving the mobile number. So mobile number I'm giving 9898, something like this. And now look at this, and data is modified. So look at this, data is changed. So now you understand how can do the add and how can do the modify. So add and modify we can do with the same command. The only concept is that if that particular row number or particular column number is already existing, then it is work as a modify, and if particular row and column is not exist in your data frame, then it is work as a add. Getting my point? So that is the basic concepts of doing adding row and these things. Okay, so now Vishad is joined the class so late. Okay, no problem. So now we are moving on the next concept. And what is the next concept? After adding and modifying, we are going to single cell. If you want to modify a single cell, how we can modify a single cell? If suppose you want to modify the single cell, then we can use the iat method to modify the single cell like this. And by the iat method, we have to use the, or we can use the dot column name and this also. So there are different methods we can use. Either you use the this method also, column name, and then the row index. You can write here row index, and you give the new value. So it's this way you can change the particular marks of this. Suppose I want to change it. Which value I want to change? 1 minute. Wait. So I want to suppose I have df2 this, and I want to change the marks of Vikas. So what I have to change the marks of Vikas. So look at this. So marks of Vikas, I can change df2 dot marks. Now, what is the index is there? 1. What is the index is there? 1 is equal to, I'm writing here 36, suppose, enter. So we are getting a warning message. This is the warning message. This is not the anything else. So it's change. And there is what is the another process is dot I at, and now I'm writing here 1 comma 0 1 1 comma 1 1 comma 1 and is equal to, I'm giving here 40, and let's see it's working now. Yeah, it's working. And this time we are not getting any error message. So now there are two processes through which we can change the individual value. Okay, one by writing the name of the row, column and providing the row index and then the new value, and second by using the IAT row index and column index and giving the value. Okay, in this time we are getting the warning message, but this time it's not giving the warning message. So that is the difference with this, but you are able to make a change there also. So now we have understand how can add, as well as I told you how can modify also, how can select. This is done. Now the time to do the delete. Now the time to do the delete and rename. So how we can do the delete operations and how we can do the rename operations. So first we are going to understand the delete. So how you can do the delete operations. For the deletions we have to use, there are two methods that can be used for the deletion. One is the most important method, that is, this is a universal command. This is the universal command for the Python, and with the help of this you can delete anything. You can delete a variable also, you can delete the list, tuple, numpy array, anything you can delete. And through this we can delete a particular column also. So what we have to do, del data frame, and which column you want to delete, just write the column name here. This is the deleting a column. This is the deleting a column. If you want to delete a column, we can use this concept here. We can use this concept here if you want to delete. But if you want to delete a row, if you want to delete a row, if you want to delete a row, then what you have to do for that, we are not using the del statement. Del statement cannot be used for the deleting row. So how we can do this? We can do this through the drop method. Which method? Drop method. Remember, this drop method is with the MySQL also. And here also we are getting the drop method. Okay, and it is used with the series object also to drop the series element. Remember this. Okay, so what we can do this, we can use the drop method, and through drop also we can delete. So how we are going to use this is the data frame dot drop, and here we have to write index, or you can write sequences of the index. Sequences of the index means which row you want to delete, you can delete this. Okay, so like this, and sometime we can use the axis argument also if you want. By default it is working with the row. By default it is working with the row. Why? The default axis value is 0, but if I'm providing the axis value is 1, then it's going to work with the column. Then it's going to work with the column. So through this also we can delete. Okay, through drop method is a universal. Through that you can delete the column also, and this also. Okay, so now let's see, we are going to check is it we are able to delete or not. So now wait here, and I'm giving the some command df2 dot. First I'm going to del statement. So del df2, and what I'm going to delete, I'm going to delete the mobile number because nothing is important information is there, and thus let's check df2 mobile number is deleted. Now I'm going to drop. And what I'm going to drop, I want to drop a row of Saloni. So what I'm writing 0 only. Sorry, Saloni, no, Muskan. So I'm writing here 0. And let's see, Muskan is deleted. Muskan is deleted here. It's a very easy, but it's not deleted permanently from the data frame. That is the difference between del statements and the drop statements. If you are using the drop statements, it's not remove the records permanently from there. It's just create a new data frame. That data frame does not contain that deleted records. But in case of the del statements is delete, it's a do the work in place. It's a changing at in place. So it's delete that particular column from the actual data frame. Okay, so if you want to remove the records from here and you want to keep it here also, so what a statement, instead of this we have to write like this: df2 is equal to df2 dot drop. Then it's going to remove from there, because it's not deleting, it's actually creating and assigning. That concept is there. So I'm not going to remove the any one record. Now if I want to remove the more than one record, then what I have to do, can I use this slice operation here? Let's see, it's an error here. So what I have to do, I have to put this information inside this, and now it's working. No, it's not working. So what we have to do, we have to write down the comma here, and let's check it's working or not. Yeah, through that we can specify the which row index we want to delete. So I'm writing 0 and 2, so it's deleting the 0 row and it's deleting the 2 row. Okay, but at the same time, if I want to drop the column through this command, so can I use here like this, access is equal to 1, this much only, or we are getting error message? Might be we are getting error message. Why we are getting error message? Because that 0 and 2 column is not existing. The column name is the name and marks. So what we have to write, we have to write here df2 dot drop, and then we have to write here column name. Suppose I want to delete the name. It's not deleting permanently, so don't worry. And I'm writing here access equal to 1. Okay, and check this. Now it's working fine. So it's deleting. So now you understand how can delete. So delete operation is over. So what is left? The next topic is the rename. So how we can rename a column or a row index? If you want to rename the rows and columns, what command we have to use? Now this command we are going to discuss. So to rename the columns and anything, for the rename row and column, what we have to do, we have to use the rename functions. We have to use the rename function for this, and rename function is need index. The rename function is need index is equal to, okay, and one value we have to provide here, second it needs columns, and here again we have to provide the one value, or there is a one more thing is there, that is called in place. And by default in place is if it is true, by you can give the value true or false. You can give the value true and false. By default it is false. So if it is in place is true, then it's going to make the change at the actual place, otherwise it's not change at the actual place. Now the second thing is that with this index and columns, uh, we have to provide a value here, and that is called name dictionary. We have to provide here name dictionary, and here also we have to provide the name dictionary. What is the meaning of the name dictionary? Name dictionary means we have to provide the dictionary like this way: old column name, okay, colon new column name. What is the new column name you want, and what is the old column name? Which old column is replaced with the what new column? So these things we have to provide it here through that. Okay, index is used for the row index, for the row changing. Columns is used for the column changes. We can use any one, and we can use both together. It's up to you how you are going to use it. And in place, just tell us that you want to change, the changes are applied on the same memory locations, or you want to create the new one. So that is the purpose of this rename command. So now I'm going to show you how we can do this rename command. Let's see here properly. Okay, so now what is my df2? My df2 is having everything here. So now I'm going to rename the first column. So what I'm going to write, df2 dot rename, and here I'm writing here columns. I'm not going to change in the index, I'm going to change in a columns. Okay, and now what I'm doing, I'm going to write here equal to sign, and here the old name is name, and here I want a name in a capital letter. Achha, this much only I want to give. I want to check, and I'm not going to do the in place changing anything. So let's see. You can observe that it is now it's showing the name here instead of this name. You can see it's showing the name here. Okay. So this is fine. Acha. In place, because if I'm going to show you, DF2, you will find this, this is not the permanent changes in a DF2. Why? Because I have not written in place equal to true. Okay. Acha. Instead of this, now I want to change this zero index and I want to write ZERO. I want to write here ZERO. So what I'm writing here, DF2 dot rename, and here I'm using index is equal to, and I'm giving 0, and I'm writing here ZERO. I'm writing here ZERO. Okay, and I'm closing this. And now you check this, DF2 is now it's showing here 0. Okay, again I'm telling you this is not in place. Okay, so if you want to do all together, suppose I want to change index also, I want to change column also. So what I will write here, columns is equal to, and I want to change only the name column. So what I'm writing here, I'm writing here name, okay, and I'm giving the name in a capital letter. Caps lock should be on. So meeting is going to end. So we will do the next meeting also. Today we are revising the whole syllabus. So be ready for this. Don't worry. Don't think about anything else. Name. So name, we are writing the name. Okay. And we closing this. And this time I'm using in place. This time I'm using in place is equal to true. Okay. So now I'm using in place equal to true, and everything is fine, and I'm pressing the enter key. So now, yeah, now it's, look at this. Okay, it's changing in the actual place. Achha. Look at this. I'm just showing the DF2 and it's changing here also, and it's changing here also. So that is the difference here, and that you can understand. Okay, so how you can rename, now you got it. So this is the renaming of column. So rename is done. So now I have done the rename, add, delete, everything basic operations done. What left? Now we are going to talk about the head and tail methods. So let's see what is the head and tail. It is not very difficult. It is similar to the, I don't think so it is required to discuss with you head and tail functions, because you all are aware about this. The head and tail is used, head function is used to return the top 5. By default, it returns the top 5 rows. Top 5 rows. And tail is used to return or get the 5 bottom rows. Okay, this is the 5 bottom and this is the top 5 rows. But we can provide the some number with the head function also, and we can provide the some number with the tail function also. If you provide the number, it means a specified number of rows it can return from the top, and number of rows it can return from the bottom. Okay. But पीछे आपको ही दिया था। Okay, so now you can write here df2 dot head, and I'm writing, I'm not giving anything. So look at this, all rows, because it's a less than 5 rows, so that's why it's looks like this, all rows are showing, but in actually it's showing only 5 rows. Now I'm going to write something df2 head, and I'm giving here 3 or 2, or I want only top 2 rows and I want only bottom 2 rows. So for that purpose we are using this concept. So that is the use of the head and tail function. Okay, so this is over here. Now what is left? Boolean indexing. What is the meaning of the Boolean indexing, and what is the meaning of this? So now I'm telling you, Boolean indexing means we are giving the index value in the form of the true and false. If you are giving the index value, either true or false, as an index, or you can say 1 or 0, then this types of indexing is called Boolean indexing. This types of indexing is called Boolean indexing. Okay, what is the importance of Boolean indexing? The importance of Boolean indexing is that you can access, you can categorize the rows and columns in a group. You can categorize the rows and columns in a group. If you want, instead of this true false, you can write any other two similar value also. You can give A or B, you can give C or D, you can give 5 or 6. Means what? We want to categorize it. We want to categorize the data frame in a two groups, and for that purpose, we are using the two similar values as a index. So what is the advantage of this? Advantage of this, if you are going to access the particular, suppose I am going to access the only true columns. So what happened? Whatever the all true columns we are getting in a one go. If we are getting accessing the all true rows, then all true rows we are getting in a one go. So this is the advantage of specifying the index value as a true and false. Okay. So now I'm going to show you the index value of true and false like this here only. I'm going to show, suppose my df2 is there. Look at this df2. This index is this. So I'm writing here df2 dot rename. I'm writing here df2 dot rename. And now I'm using here columns is equal to, and I'm writing here 0, 0, and I'm giving here true. I'm giving here true. Okay. What is the next column? Next column is 1. So I'm giving here false. Okay. Not false. Don't write in a false in a single quote and double quote. What is the next row index? Sorry. Instead of columns, I'm going to write here index. Wait, I'm going to write here index. Okay. So 2. What is the 2? 2 is I'm giving true here. I'm just giving the true or I'm giving the false here, suppose. And now what is the next? Next is the 3. So 3 I'm giving the true. 3 I'm giving the true. Okay. And what I want to do, I'm writing here in place is equal to true. I'm giving the in place is equal to true here. And now I'm closing this. Now I'm closing this. Pressing the enter key and you check the df2. So now true, false, true, false, true, false. You can see now it is true, false, true, false. So what is the advantage of this? If we are going to access the particular row and column, suppose I'm writing here df loc and I'm giving the true here. So what happened? There is a problem. I have to use the proper syntax. Let's see what the problem is there. df2. So now I'm writing here df2 dot loc and I'm giving here true comma and colon and I'm accessing in this way. Yeah. So look at this. Only true values I'm getting. I'm getting the two parts only. What's given? The name, marks, and true, true, true. Only Muskan Yadav. Why? And why not Saloni is there? Why not Saloni is there? It's a work. It should be work like a LOC, and we don't write this way. Also, it's work. Yeah, but it's not giving the df2 log true, and it's giving only Muskan Yadav. But I want the information of Saloni also. It's not showing the Saloni. Okay, wait. I'm writing here df2 dot loc, and I'm writing here false. So what happened? In case of false, it's showing both. I think I have given some space or I have put in a single quote. That true? Oh, that is the actual problem, na? Actually, I have written the wrong command here. So what I'm doing, I have to write here. I have to write here. I have to write in this way. True. True as a string should be converted in a true. And now you check. Now you can see, I'm writing true and I'm getting the all true rows all together. All true rows all together. Muskan and Saloni all together. And in case of false, I'm getting false record. Sorry. So now look at this. So this way we are getting the value. So that is the use of the true and false. And now you understand this. So Boolean index you understand. So now one thing is left and that is the iteration. And what is the iteration? For the iteration, we are using the iter rows and iter columns. Okay. If you want to access the data frame row wise or column wise, and for that purpose, we are using the iter rows here. We are using the two function. The time is about to over. So this iterations I will discuss in the next class. So you all are requested to join the class just after 10 minutes. This time I'm giving a 10 minutes break to you. And in that I'm going to discuss about the iteration. And also I'm going to discuss about the importing, exporting. And if the time allows, we are going to discuss about the data visualization. I think visualization is not important, but if you want to discuss, then we will discuss about this also. So first we will discuss iteration, and then we are going to discuss about this, and through this also we can come to know how can create the data frame through text and CSV file. This topic is covered here, that's why I have not discussed this topic here. Okay, so I hope you all understand this everything. So okay, so now I'm going to end the class, and you all are requested to join the next class within 10 minutes, after 10 minutes.